Hello again, guys. The Sean Meister here, back again with another character design critique regarding the Ben 10 series. This time we're going to be talking about Kevin 11's look in the original series. Why? Because I'm a hardcore Ben 10 fan and I enjoy the concept of character design as a whole, as I've stated before in the other video. Alright, round 2. Before I get started, let me lay out the ground rules for you guys once more. I'm going to be rating this design out of 10. Looking at design traits like silhouette, colors, and all that stuff. If you like stuff like this, please consider following me on Instagram and or Twitter for a bunch more art, if you like art. And of course, you'd be helping me out if you like this video and subscribe. Also, please feel free to comment your thoughts on this video down below. Alright, now who is Kevin 11? Kevin Ethan Levin is a street-smart punk mutant who tends to exhibit sociopathic/psychopathic tendencies, using his powers to threaten, hurt, and steal from people. In his first appearance, he had a bit of a camaraderie with Ben, but soon he became a reoccurring villain, at least in the original series. Kevin's main and only fit in the series is a cut and beat-up gray sleeveless shirt. Olive green shorts, black shoes with a bit of gray, black armbands, one with spikes, and of course his iconic, or it should be, lock that he wears around his neck. In terms of physical features, Kevin has long and messy black hair, prominently sharp eyebrows, at least in my opinion, and in case you forgot, brown eyes. Not the black eyes he's had this whole time. That's some premium gaslighting, I tell you what. Okay. The first thing I noticed straight up are the colors. Since everything in his palette is pretty much the same muted dark color, your eyes are most likely going to be drawn to the dark olive green pants. Now, this is a bit of an ugly color choice to me, especially when it's next to all the black and gray that he has on. In fact, I think it almost looks dirty. Like, it almost looks gross. Don't know if you guys would agree with me on that. But regardless, I think it's completely in character for Kevin in this early stage. Remember that he's like a street kid after getting kicked out by his parents for, blowing up the house. I can imagine his pants were a much brighter green. But due to all of his escapades outside on the streets, they eventually got dirtier and dirtier. As a matter of fact, everything he has on tells a story. His cut-up sleeveless shirt, the punk armbands he's got on, the ugly-ass boots, and of course the lock around his neck that we're told he got from his first heist. When it comes to his physical features, I like how long his hair is. I have always associated long hair on male characters with rebellion, individuality, power, or freedom. Which, given Kevin's background, this was a great choice. I see him as all of these. His facial features are noticeably sharper and shapelier than Ben's. His nose is a long rectangle and the eyes are literal half circles as a default. Notice that his eyes also have dark bags underneath, like dark eyeliner. It makes him look more sinister. I'm not sure if this was intentional, but the eyebrows are noticeably high-arching, which people tend to associate with villains. Whether it was intentional or not, it really works for me. Another thing I want to mention is that, to me, Kevin looks slightly more mature than Ben in terms of his facial features. Look at his baby looking face. I like to think that it's because of the fact that Kevin has had to live a bit more of a stressful life than Ben due to living on the streets.
You live here?
Yeah, by myself.
What about your family?
Long gone.
Meaning he had to mature a bit quicker than most kids his age. I don't think this was intentional, but it does add a bit of storytelling to his design. Again. This is a bit of a nitpick, but if there was one thing I would change about his design, I think I would maybe give him like a skull or an 11 on his shirt. Or maybe not, because the original series wasn't as on the nose about the numbers being on their shirts and stuff. If not an 11 on the shirt, I would put it on his necklace lock, like they do in the Omniverse designs. I really like that, because I would always assume that he engraved an 11 onto the lock with like a sharp rock or something, which is a cool visual to me, and again, adds a bit more storytelling. Now, this is another nitpick, but I would either put spikes on both armbands or leave only one spiked armband. I believe the idea was to make him a bit asymmetrical, but as much as I like the design, I feel like it should have been more complex for it to have a better effect. Right now though, to me, it just makes the design look a bit incomplete. Alright, and the last two things I would change is to make the black under the eyes more prominent, like in Omniverse, and make his armband spikes larger and a bit more exaggerated, just to make it look a bit better in a silhouette. Alright, after all that, I've decided to rate this design a Ben 10 out of 10. I really struggled to find anything that I genuinely hated about the design. Yeah, I listed off a few things I nitpicked, but none of the things I listed off take anything away from the design. I simply just wanted to add a few things. As I said previously, everything about his design has a story to tell. And unlike Ben's design, almost everything about Kevin's design informs you of his personality. In fact, his design is so good to me that I started second guessing if I rated Ben's too high. What do you guys think? Well, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe. Also, if you like art, again, follow me on Twitter and or Instagram. Feel free to comment down below also. What would you have rated this design? Anything else you would have added? Was I too lenient when I gave this one a 10 out of 10? Alright, in the next video, I'll be looking at Gwen's original design in the original series. This was, again, the Seanmeister. Peace! Hey, I just want to let you guys know that when I was writing this video, it got broken down into 11 parts. That was not intentional. I did not do that on purpose. It's crazy how that happened though, right? Well, it's not 11 parts now. Now it's 12 parts. Because I decided to, write that it got broken up into 11 parts. So, yeah.